do you feel that the whole phase is necessary, or does it actually just cause trauma in the long run?
Yeah.
And that's for men and women. It's not just for one, because we know how people in the comments like to.
Make assumptions.
Yeah.
Okay, don't call the people out. Don't call the people in the comments.
But yeah,
Watch the whole video.
We appreciate
Watch the whole
Please.
video.
Gosh.
No,
Oh, yeah.
no, I think that's a great question. Is the whole phase necessary? And does it cause trauma? I think for me, I would say it is necessary in a way of exploring yourself. You don't have to necessarily go through the whole phase in like a specific way. Like, oh, you're gonna like bang a bunch of dudes like in 1 year and that's your whole phase. Like a whole phase can look different for everybody. I think it depends on like what your values are and you know your ideology on things, but it depends. That being said, if you do take it to an extreme, for sure, like trauma is bound to happen.
no, I know. I feel like a lot of men, well, a lot of boys, like, were taught just to sleep with girls, to get your numbers up and all of that sort of stuff.
Right.
And I don't think they realize what comes with that as well.
Yeah.
Especially in the later years of their life, whether it could be many things. We've spoken on different things that can affect someone, especially in those sort of things. But I do agree, because now I'm at the age I'm at, I know what I like, I know what I want from a relationship or a woman and anything like this. But as I was saying to Priscilla off camera, the trauma that comes with it is, for instance, when I'm young, I could have been dealing with women that had boyfriends or had husbands and whatnot. Then once I'm in a relationship, my mind is now telling me, oh, what I was doing, it could happen to me. And that could affect me now going forward. Not that it did, but it could now have that sort of, you know, implement itself in my mind.
100%.
And those are the sort of things that I feel like people don't look at in terms of
Right.
having fun. Like, we all have fun.
Like you're having fun in the moment, but you're not necessarily thinking of the repercussions that are gonna come after. And you can have a whole phase, I feel like, with one person too. Like if you do want to just have one partner, like a whole phase would, I guess, be what, like just explore, like being out here. Do you have to be out here in these streets to have a whole phase, or could you have it with one partner?
if you're having a whole phase with one person, you might as well call that a relationship.
Then that's
it's a relationship.
But yeah, you have lots of
think-
relationships where people don't feel comfortable
I think
enough
it's just
to
the
explore
fact-
like that.
I feel
Sorry,
like
I
that's
need to
the
cut you
first
off.
problem. It's like we're calling it a whole phase. Like, why even call it a whole phase?
We didn't call it that.
No, I know, but I'm
Like,
saying
yeah,
Oh.
like, why
that's
is
the
it
first
called-
problem.
An
Is like
exploration phase.
it's like why
Yeah,
like that's the
yeah.
first problem we're calling it a whole phase. We're
Oh.
starting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
maybe
I think exploring. You're talking about exploring.
yeah.
It's important, like just boundaries. You know, like everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Right.
As I was saying off camera, you know, women, we are the life-giving force. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There's no way around that.
Yeah.
Meaning, our bodies, our vessels, we are portals to life.
Right,
and, like,
right.
for us to just, like, let anybody all up in there in our portal, you know, like, you
It's
have
about
to,
it.
you
Yeah,
gotta,
you
like,
have to-
everything in
Were
moderation.
Were you thinking
What was
that?
this about?
Were you thinking that when you were like in your like early 20s?
No,
But that's the thing,
exactly.
No, but that's what
exactly.
I even said that as well.
Exactly.
Yeah,
When
I
you
wasn't.
start to get older now, like I look back and I think a lot of the situations that I was in, I didn't need to be in.
Yeah, word.
Or I
Word.
didn't
Absolutely.
need to
Yeah.
do it. It was just the fact of
Exploration.
you know,
Word
It's
of
like
the day.
recklessness. Like you don't.
Yeah.
No, but it's-
You don't
That's
care.
it.
You don't
There's-
care who you hurt.
there's
Like it's just
exploring
like,
and there's recklessness. I would say.
But you like back to your point, 'cause you said men or boys are taught aren't taught this. Like they're taught to pursue women and like
Yeah.
Just
You know?
yeah, the
Right.
more the better kind of thing.
yeah, exactly.
And
So like yeah.
well,
that's
yeah, I would say
education, I guess.
not everyone. I'll say that, but I would
No.
say there's the nurture and nature
Mhm.
in terms of learning things as well. And I feel like, for instance, we didn't have sex education in our school. Like
right. Oh.
they didn't teach it in my school back then. So, and my mum, I grew up in a single mum home. So, my mum wasn't really like she was forthcoming with some things, but because she had 4 boys in the house, 3 boys in the house, it's
It's just
it's only so much she can do.
yeah,
So, a lot of the things that I learned was from the older ones on my area. Like they taught me this, they taught me that. They're the ones that scolded me when I first said, "Oh yeah, I'm having sex," and I didn't have a condom. They're the ones that grabbed me up and said, "You know what's out there? There's AIDS and HIV, bro. Go and get So they taught me, okay, do this, do that. But in the same breath, once I reached 15, 16, what, Jason, what, your numbers, you're not linking girls, you're not doing this.
You get clowned. You clown for not pursuing women in that way.